Hello, Cowboys Nation. Welcome to another video, and without further ado, let's get to another round of news from America's team. Cowboys and Packers try to downplay Micah Parsons' return to Dallas. 1 month wasn't enough time for Parsons to fully disconnect from the franchise that drafted him, number 12 overall, and watched him grow into a perennial All-Pro pass rusher. Ties were broken by frustrated Cowboys owner Jerry Jones, who took multiple steps back in the middle of fractured contract negotiations with Parsons to trade the 26th to Green Bay just 1 week before Dallas played against the Philadelphia Eagles in the regular season opener. The guys know Mike is coming back. Cowboys head coach Brian Schottenheimer said it'll be great to see him. Normal week, another championship opportunity. Packers head coach Matt LaFleur delivered a similar message to his team about its reunion with Kenny Clark. The defensive lineman traded to Dallas, along with 2 first-round picks, was part of the haul necessary to pry Parsons away from the Cowboys after the now infamous 6-week contract stare-down. Clark has played more defensive snaps than any of his new Cowboys teammates. I think every game you've got to approach it the same way, whether it's week 1 of the regular season or if you get in the playoffs or the Super Bowl. Whatever, you've got to come in with the same mindset. Leeler said the focus is, yeah, you've got to know what you're going against. But the focus always comes back to us and what we've got to do, and how we need to go out there with the focus and concentration that we need to have. I'm not worried about that with Parsons. Parsons had 4 double-digit sack seasons in 4 years in Dallas. He added 1.5 in his first 3 games with the Packers. Schottenheimer said he knows Parsons is doing Parsons things for the Packers, primarily rushing off the left edge opposite Rashawn Gary. He has 8+ pressures in 2 of his 3 games with Green Bay, and no other player has hit that number twice this season. Parsons leads the NFL with 15 career games with at least 8 QB pressures since being drafted, which ranks first in the NFL. Defenses are overloading the right side of their line to contend with Parsons and losing the picker-poison gamble. Gary leads the NFL with 4.5 sacks. Schottenheimer said the Cowboys are excited to see Jadeveon Clowney in a Dallas uniform for the first time on Sunday night. He said there's no way to predict if Dallas would be better if Parsons was still lining up with the Cowboys. The team ranks 30th in total defense, 27th in scoring, and dead last in passing yards allowed. We have not been playing to the standard we want to play to, but if we had Micah, you can't predict that we'd be playing any better or worse. Those are projections, he said. Cowboys, Trevon Diggs misses practice with knee injury after brutal showing versus Bears. The Dallas Cowboys have struggled mightily on the defensive side of the ball this season, and that is a big reason why they are off to a 1-2 start and already have a hole to dig out of the season. On Sunday, the Cowboys will get a chance to get back to 0-5-0 on Sunday Night Football against the Green Bay Packers, but they may be without one of the top players for the game. Quarterback Trevon Diggs did not practice on Wednesday heading into Week 4 due to a knee injury, leaving his status for Sunday night up in the air. Diggs was on the field wearing his helmet, according to Joseph Hoy of the Dallas Morning News, which could be a good sign that he may still be able to give it a go. Diggs was listed on the injury report heading into Week 3 as well due to an illness, but he still was able to play against the Bears. However, he did not play up to his usual standard, getting burned by Rome Odunze for a long touchdown on a play where he slipped. That was one of many coverage busts by the Dallas in that game, which finished as a 31-4 win for the Bears. Caleb Williams tossed 4 touchdowns in one of the best games of his career, something that is becoming a bit too common for Cowboys opponents. Diggs' counterpart, Darren Bland, practiced in limited fashion on Wednesday as he looks to get back on the field after dealing with a foot injury. When the 2 of them are out there, they form a solid quarterback duo for Brian Schottenheimer and company, but potentially missing both of them would be bad news against an explosive Packers offense. The Cowboys will already have a tough enough time slowing down this Packers attack that will surely be out for blood after struggling mightily in a loss to the Cleveland Browns on Sunday. However, for Dallas to stick around and give the offense a chance to win the game and Micah Parsons return to Dallas, it will need both of its starting corners healthy and ready to go when Sunday night rolls around. Just released wide receiver could seriously help Cowboys after Lamb injury. The Dallas Cowboys will be without one of their top players when the Green Bay Packers come to town in Week 4. Star wide receiver CeeDee Lamb's high ankle sprain will force him to miss at least the next 2 games, putting a lot of pressure on the rest of the Cowboys wide receiver room to step up in his absence. As much as Dallas fans would love to see owner general manager Jerry Jones add another wideout, that's easier said than done once a season has begun. Still, releases are a part of the NFL experience, and one wideout who was just cut on Tuesday could be the answer to the Cowboys' prayers. Veteran wide receiver, returner Mal Hardman was released from the Packers practice squad, per ESPN's Rob Demovsky. Not only would signing the NFL's newest free agent help make Lamb's injury easier to accept, but Hardman can help the Cowboys in multiple ways. Cowboys must sign wide receiver returner Mal Hardman after Packers release. Without a team to call his own, Hardman is now one of the NFL's top free agent wideouts. The former Georgia Bulldog has amassed 232 receiving yards and 16 touchdowns on 178 catches in 80 games. 28 starts with the Kansas City Chiefs and New York Jets. And that's without mentioning the experience using from 3 Super Bowl rings. Adding the downfield threat would make George Pickens, Jalen Tolbert, and the rest of the Cowboys wideouts lives much easier. Even if it's been 5 years since his last 600-Y campaign, Hardman's speed will force opposing defenses to respect Dallas' aerial assault even more. A Hardman signing would also allow the Cowboys to use Cavani Turpin more as a receiver, which is something they've already been doing. The fact that Turpin hasn't been as productive in special teams is another reason for the Cowboys to add Hardman, taking some pressure off the former. Meanwhile, Hardman just averaged a career-high 26.4 kick return yards in 2024, indicating that he could give the Cowboys' special teams a huge boost. Having him could free Turpin up for more favorable return opportunities, especially with opponents not knowing which rapid returner to cover. Teams must be reliable in every phase of the game to succeed in the NFL. While signing Hardman wouldn't guarantee a Super Bowl run, the Cowboys would be a stronger team with him on the roster. And a low-risk, high-reward is something the 1-2-2 team can't afford to turn down.